I'm Terrence James, and today I got the keys for my own car, a 2024 Golf R Manual that I bought with my own money. Actually, me and my wife's money. But it has been a year, and what I want to do now is give you an update. I want to let you know what I like, don't like after a year, what I found out, and whether or not I'd even buy it again given the same opportunity. So let's go. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to slow things down, do a walk around with you, and I want to show you some of the things that I've learned over the years, some of the things I like, and some of the things I don't like. So some of the things on the front that I really do like is this bottom part on the grill here does look a lot more aggressive than the normal Golfs, yet still fitting with the elegant look that Volkswagen has. And I like the way that it's kind of cut out here, like the Mitsubishi Evo used to be. And while we're over here, I like these headlights, just little touches like this for making it look premium with that IQ embossing there. And these lights they work really, really well, except for the fact that they don't have fog lights in the Golf R. They have these all-weather lights that don't work really well. But in general, these lights work really good. They have automatic high beams, and that works well when people are coming at you, turns them down, puts them back up. They turn around corners. All in all, it's really, really great. I don't like the fact that this does not light up. I don't really care for gimmicky things, but it does look kind of silly that this lights up and this doesn't. And then the new one's coming down towards me, it lights up. So that's kind of silly. But one of the things that when we pop the hood that frustrates me, yeah, we'll talk more about the driving performance in a second, but this is a very expensive car that's an enthusiast car, and they put the ugliest cover. Like, you couldn't put a Volkswagen logo or a blue R on there. I don't really know why they didn't. But one thing I do like, thing to mention is this hood weighs about 1,700 pounds. I don't know why Volkswagen, and the car weighs about 3,300 pounds, which they could have made it a lot lighter if they put some aluminum in here. It's already expensive, make it even more expensive. I don't know why they didn't. But one thing I do like is, you see this extra ridge here, Chris? I don't know if you can pick it up on camera. That is different with the Mark 8 compared to the other ones. And it does give you kind of the idea that you got a 4-cylinder Hemi under here. I do like that part. And when we kind of look, Chris, here as well at the side, I'm going to take you to the back in a second, but if you can kind of get the profile down here. Now, one thing I really like with the GR Corolla and the Civic Type R and things like that is this wide body look. Now, you have to believe me, and if I can put it in the B-roll, I will, but I have a Mark 7 GTI, and when you put them side by side, you can see that the Germans, in their own way, did a real effort. So come back to the back here, Chris, and do the same thing over here. And what you'll see is that it's a lot thinner in here and then widens out in the back. So it is their own idea of a wide body. It definitely does look wider than my GTI if they're parked side by side. I think technically the body in white is the same, but the way that they've just subtly changed some of the body work on here, it does look wide body to me. I really appreciate that. Little things at the back that I like, both front and back, they have gloss black here. I really like that. I know not everybody likes it, but to me it does look premium. It is a functional air diffuser. Again, this isn't, like a race car or anything, but it is pretty fast. It does work. And the same with the spoiler. And again, attention to detail. You got the middle pole here. You got the two-tone, again, gloss. And I can't remember what speeds or what the downforce is, but because of the Autobahn, this is actually a functioning spoiler. And maybe just to finish on the outside here, Chris, on the side. Now, one of the things that I do like is they've kept on the Mark 8, Mark 8.5, the look of the Volkswagen Golf. So it's still your traditional Golf look, but for some reason, to me, I've got conflicting measurements. I think that it is technically a little bit longer in the wheelbase, and to me, that subtle difference in the bodywork and the extension, to me, it looks less hot hatchy and looks more like a little baby wagon or estate, and a lot of people like that, but for me personally, I don't like that. But I do like that they've kept the attention to the detail of Golf Rs in the past. You have these wheels, which you've seen before, in different Golfs. You've got the nice silver cap mirrors on the side, and then of course you've got the skirting around the outside, which I really like as well. And the funny thing is, when you look at these brakes, especially the front ones, you are looking at over 14-inch discs, perforated or the cross drilled, and you got the dual I forget what the right thing to say is, but you got both the rotor and then the part that holds it on to help dissipate heat. Now these are in-house brakes for, we'll talk in the performance, but even the former Stig from Top Gear has driven this car and says that the brakes, even though they're in-house, hold up really well without brake fade and a lot of stopping power, so that part's good. And when we come back, I'll show you some of the things on the inside that I appreciate, and we're doing this here. I've owned a Volkswagen since 2015, and this is a really nice feature. One, it is pretty cool. It looks nice, but they put the camera under there, but it's so in the winter and things, it doesn't get, you know, ice on it or dirt, and you can still back up okay. And then with the Volkswagen, once we come inside, this is where it really shines, is with all the practicality, which I really appreciate. You got these little handles here, which a lot of companies are using now, so you don't got to get your fingers dirty. Of course, most cars have your hide to conceal your things here, but one of the things with the Volkswagen that I really like is the fact that you can take this out, which you can in most cars, but in this car, it will actually fit down here so you don't have to store it separately. So I like that. That is one nice thing. Also back here, this here Volkswagen does this is you've got this. So right here, you can keep this nice and flat. So when you put these seats down, you have true low level space, which I really, really like. But you can also lower this down a few inches. So as you can see, as you call it cavernous, you can go down here. And if I was to eliminate the subwoofer, because this is kind of a Golf R thing, the other Golfs didn't have it, nor the GTI, you could put this a few inches lower. So if you want to stack more things in the back, that you can. And just also what I learned is double check, do your own research, but I'm almost 100% sure that if you want, you can easily unscrew and unplug that subwoofer and get yourself a GTI spare tire, and it would fit in there if that's a concern for you. But also I like the fact that there is a plug-in back here. I really appreciate. I do camping and things like that, so you can plug in stuff. All kinds of grocery bag hangers. You've got things, tie downs. But because this is a European style vehicle, you have this European pass-through right there. And the reason why I think that's so great is because, as you can see, we have a car seat here. So I could have another person over there and still have long items. Otherwise, you've got to have this part down and these two people, one's getting stuck in the middle seat, which nobody likes, and the kids are probably going to fight. So that is really, really great. Claim to fame back here, some of the things that I like. And when we come to the back, I love how far these doors open because you can get your Moose Baby seat in there. We are in Canada. That is very important. And I can get me in here. So I am Tom Cruise tall. I am 5'7" with my lifts in my shoes. And as you can see, sitting beside or behind myself, I still do have room both for height and knees. So that is good. I like these little pockets because what you can do is you can put your phone here, and then that way you can watch Nutra reviews as you're sitting back here. And I do sit in the back of my own car quite often. And the fact I do like that there's a lot of room in here for a hot hatch, and there is 3-zone air conditioning. Now that is a luxury thing that's very unnecessary in a small car, but what is necessary, which a lot of cars don't have, believe it or not, including in this price range, are venting or things to plug your stuff into. So you've got 2 USB-Cs back here. So that is a big deal. Now quickly moving up front, and we'll get going for a drive, tell you some of the things that I learned performance-wise with the car. But coming up here, one of the things that I really like are these big giant door pockets, and that they're felt lined. So I can put just about any water bottle and then some in there, and nothing rattles around. I do really like the fact, I'm gonna close this door here, or just a little bit, these mirrors here. Not only do they fold in when the car is parked if you want, to give yourself a little bit more space, but the actual mirror itself you can attach to the program with the memory seat, and it will bend down so you don't hit curbs as easy when you're backing up. Now, one of the things that I noticed after having the car for a year is I have a third memory seat, and I really do appreciate the memory seats, especially when you're in and out of the car and multiple drivers. I don't let anyone else drive this car except for Chris from time to time for the show, so I don't know why you would ever need more than 2. And then I found that that third one, in certain places in Europe, they do massage seats. So I feel a little left out there. And that's one of the other things I wanted to mention that I don't like. I love the look of these seats. That's part of the reason why I wanted to buy the car. I think they look really cool with the perforated blue holes and the blue embossing and the overall shape of the seats. But because it has so much electronic equipment and ventilation and everything else for these heated, ventilated, power memory seats, you sit up on a perch. And that is not a sporty driving position. And I would compromise and say that's okay on hot summer days like we just experienced if the ventilated air conditioning seats actually worked as marketed, but they don't work that great. Coming over here, I love the 3 pedals, of course, because it's a manual, and that's the reason we bought it. Now, everything works good. We'll talk about that in the performance end, but some of the things I just wanted to mention in here quickly is the wireless charging actually works. You can actually get your phone in there easy, and it actually will power up your phone and not just keep it hot. So that is nice. Now, one thing I don't like is that they eliminated the manual brake on these, but because this has torque vectoring and a drift mode, it does make up for that. And the fact that I've learned after a year is driving Hondas and things like that, Type Rs and whatnot, is that I'm very disappointed that Volkswagen eliminated their manual transmission and that they never really put a good one in it, which I found disappointing. It's not a bad manual transmission, it's just not great. But we'll talk more about that on the drive. The only other things that I really wanted to mention that I've learned about the car is the fact that the infotainment was a huge sticky point for many people in this generation of car. And one of the reasons was because the light or the bar here for your heating, ventilation, and volume control was not lit up. So a lot of people felt that was dangerous, but then I don't know who gave them their licenses, because all you have to do this and you don't need to see it. So, but all in all, I think that it works really good. And one of the things that I did find frustrating with it, and then I learned after a year with the car, is a lot of these new cars that have gotten rid of hard buttons and bury everything in the infotainment, it's a computer. So it takes 30 seconds to a minute type thing to warm up. And while it's booting up, if you're freezing cold or you're super hot, you can't have your air conditioning on or your heated seats or any of that stuff. But what I found out is you can actually pre-program on this infotainment some of those things. So even though it is booting up and taking forever, your heated seats will be on if that's what you programmed, and the temperature that you want, etc. So realistically, I think we should just get this on the road and tell you what I've learned about how it drives. All right, so what I wanted to do in this segment originally was to show you, like I did with the features and benefits, some of the things that I've learned over the last year, some of the things that I like and don't like now. But then I realized I haven't learned a whole lot. But one thing that I have learned that I want to share with you before I forget is that this thing needs to have the ESC in Sport to have any fun. So right now, I am going to put this in, just so you can see, it's going to be in race mode, but the ESC is going to be in normal. So we got to put this over into brake. See, it's quite a cumbersome process. So let's just have it in full nanny mode. So we got it in race, nanny mode. So watch. Got a huge clutch stump because it's my car. Oh, so see, it bogs right down there. That's not what we're looking for at all. Okay, but now we're going to put it in comfort mode. And we will put the ESC in Sport. Let's see what happens. Same thing. See? No bogging down. And one of the other things that I like as well when it's in ESC Sport, now we'll put it in race mode, in special mode. So the special mode is extra special, but like I said, without that, you're not going to have as much fun. Okay, so the reason why I say that I haven't learned that much is because I think everything that I've learned after the year is everything I already knew going in, which is every reviewer that I looked at, every journalist, and I've loved the Golf R for years. I've been a huge fan of a hot hatch. I've always wanted an STI, Golf R, Civic Type R, that type of thing, Ford Focus RS, in the day, you name it. So I'm very, very grateful to have this car. But after a year, I realized that it is everything that all those reviewers and all the commenters and all the owners have said over the years, which is it's the car that they didn't fight over on track, but they all fought over to drive back home in, because it really is a great daily driver, and it is tons of fun on a back road, probably more fun than those other cars, because it's a monster. It's got lots of power in the straight line and everything else like that. But the reason why I'm saying that, I'm not shouting it from the rooftops at how excited I am, although let's just show you the corner here. So when it's in ESC, look at this, Sport, that propels it around a corner like a rear-wheel drive car, and even in that mode, it will let you go sideways given the right situation. And of course, you've got the drift mode that you can do if you really want to, and take that ESC completely off. But really, in sport, it's kind of the sweet spot, so to say. But as I was saying, that I realized that they were totally right, which is this car is a ton of fun daily driving, and it is probably the best car you're going to get for the money, and I mean that. I've said it in a couple of reviews now of this car that it's probably Canada's best daily driver. Not everyone's going to agree, including my own family. But the reason why I say that is we just bought a Teos, a brand new one. It's a great vehicle, also grateful for that. But it's not really a lot bigger than this car in reality. Like, you know, maybe an inch on each side of something that in the back there, so you're not gaining a ton of space. You're not going to fit an extra stroller or tons more bags or anything else like that. And of course, it's not nearly as fun, and it doesn't handle as well and all that type of stuff, and it's not as luxurious, and it's around the same price, but you're paying a premium just because it's an SUV or a CUV or whatever they call those little ones nowadays. So what I'm saying is, at the $50-something thousand price point in Canada, MSRP plus fees and taxes, that, believe it or not, is still about 10-15 grand less than the average price of a car. So realistically, if you don't have a giant family or anything else like that, with me, we've just got a small family, this thing is more than ideal. I can fit anything that you could imagine. We moved cities, and I use this like a little baby U-Haul and had it packed to the gills. You know, I work out of the car with both the YouTube business and another business that we're involved in, and it really is a better working space than my home office. You've got all the creature comforts. It couldn't be any more comfortable in here. It's quiet. The sound system works great. I've learned all of that, but really, it's nothing that I didn't know going in, and including that this is not going to be a scream it from the rooftops engaging driving experience like that GR Corolla or the Ford Focus RS that it took over for. Here we go, you ready? Oh. You ready? Hold on. Oh, okay. I backed up because I felt my brain go in. I'm serious, it felt like it was moving. Okay, hold on. Now, we're going skiing. Hold on. Oh.
All I can hear is my water bottle clinking around in the back.
Oh, I tell you, this is a sharp front end. That is sharp. So we're going to start it off with a full 0-60. Here we go. Now, those cars make you compromise. So I said, would I buy this car again? Given the same opportunity, and I'd have to say yes, but a reluctant yes. And the reason why I say a reluctant yes is I'm extremely grateful for this car. As I said, I'm in my 40s and I waited my whole life to have a car like this, and I'm extremely grateful. Like, it's 35 miles to the gallon basically on the highway. I can do like I said, everything and more with it, and it is tons of fun in the back road. How can I complain? It does 0 to 60 with a manual repeatedly in less than 5 seconds, the quarter mile in like 12 something. You know, it does almost 170 miles an hour if you lived in Germany and you were allowed to drive it on that highway. It does donuts. It has a fun R button that squats it down and makes it angry, and has poppy noises out the back. And you know, how could I complain? But the reason why I'm complaining, because I am a driving enthusiast, and this car is unapologetically German, and a lot of people like that. Mercedes, Audi, BMW, Porsche, you name it. They make a well-engineered, well-built car that performs on paper like you wouldn't believe, because on that Autobahn you can drive in sections as fast as you want. So you want a nice premium ride that can also perform, which this car does. But as a driving enthusiast, I want to feel that power. I want to feel that fun. And you do in a GR Corolla, you do in a Ford Focus RS and the Civic Type R. So would I do it again? Yes, if the circumstances were the same as they are now. And I'm happy with my circumstances. I'm happy to be a family man. But if I was in my 20s, like when I had my SRT4, I think, if I'm honest, I would appreciate a car that makes me compromise like the GR Corolla, because it doesn't have ideal space, it doesn't have ideal fuel economy or road noise or anything else. But what is more than ideal is that you enjoy it when you do this. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time. And hopefully in our next update in a year from now, we don't have any headaches to report, because so far this car has been wonderful. We'll see you next time.